Hello and welcome to another episode of Solo No More. I'm your host, Catryce, and it's 2025, which is kind of crazy. This is the first episode that I'm recording and will be posting from this year. The goal for this year is ultimately to get a episode out every week, no matter what day it is on. Hopefully, eventually, the goal is to get to a point where it's coming out on the same day, but that's where we're at right now. But with this year beginning, just kind of honestly, I already want to do some reflection and some debriefing because I just wrapped up a flash sale for the Evergreen Support Network trial membership. And I kind of wanted to, I don't know, after the events of this little promo sale, I was like, okay, we need to debrief here because I think that there is a lot to kind of be said about how I went about the promo, how I went about signing clients and those types of things. And then also, again, this is a matter, this podcast is all about like, not just, business, but also lifestyle. And so I want to kind of kick this off with the fact that coming into 2025, I'm not going to say that Reese and I are absolutely pinching pennies, but we are kind of pinching pennies. In December, we had some unexpected expenses come up that we did not budget for, that at this time we don't have an emergency fund. And so we kind of just had to pull from the general account. And that kind of put us into a really tough financial situation. Obviously, we are able to pay for our rent, and that's covered. We were able to get groceries, but we really don't have money for anything else right now. In December, my business bank account sat at negative $200 because I had to pull from my business in order to be able to cover all the expenses that came up for us. And this happens, that's life, but it kind of put me into a scarcity mindset. It made me very desperate for sales, and that was a really tough state to go into my promo flash sale for Evergreen Support Network. And yes, it was just for the trial membership, but going into that was really tough because it just made me, I mean, we all want money to a certain degree, and I wanted to make sales, but it put me in the state where I was like, I have to make sales. I have to get people to book. My Evergreen Support Network, my membership payment, my member dues are due on the 30th. So I knew I had money coming in, but I knew that the expenses coming up in January were going to be much greater than the amount of money I was about to get. And I only, again, transparency, I only signed one Evergreen Support Network member in December. So I was seeing a decline in signups. I offered a lot of free mini audits. I did, I want to say at least 50, maybe 75 mini free audits to try to generate some leads, get into people's inboxes with some value, and then be able to, kind of talk and pitch to them. And nothing was really landing anywhere, and it was really frustrating. So I already knew that I was going to be doing this flash sale. That's something that I have tried to be really good about, is that I am not ever really, when you see a sale, it hardly ever is this like, oh, I'm desperate for money, I need money, so I'm going to throw something together. I've been thinking about it, and I am someone who, I love Halloween, I love New Year's Eve, Valentine's Day. I don't know if I'll do anything for Valentine's Day, but like my birthday is a big deal. This year I'm also getting married, which is like so crazy to say, but like I love to do little like promo flash sale things on those like special dates, especially, like holidays, like Halloween, where, Halloween falls on the 31st of October. So, a promo for like flash sale of like $31 to do a 7-day trial. Or for New Year's Eve, I did $25 because we were rolling into 2025. And so I knew that this was coming, and I was like, okay, this is what I'm holding on to. I'm holding on to the fact that for Halloween, I had 2 or 3 people sign up for the trial, like take advantage of that sale. I was like, great, I'm going to get 2 to 3 people to sign up for New Year's. And for Halloween, I did 24 hours. For New Year's, I did 48. So I did all of New Year's Eve and then New Year's Day. But the thing that I want to talk about is how I literally, oh my gosh, I didn't get sales until truly like the 11th hour. I had spent New Year's Eve talking to Reese and talking to my coach Megan about my frustrations about, like people were so ready to buy for Halloween. People were so excited, like, 8 a.m. I was at Disneyland for the Halloween one, and yeah, like by 8 a.m. I had rope dropped, and by the time I was getting on my second or third ride of the day, I already, actually maybe even fourth, who knows, minor details. But I had already had someone sign up, and that just was not the case. And obviously, the holidays are a very tricky time. It isn't a case of no one's buying, but it's, you really do have to seek out who's actively online, who is in a state of investment, because during the holidays, everyone is winding down. Like, yes, we are all looking ahead to the new year, but during like that Christmas to New Year's week, like no one knows what time it is, no one knows what day it is. We're all just kind of like unstructuredly going through life. And so it is hard. It's also like I was just on a call earlier this morning, and I was talking about how the absolute overwhelm I felt in December from just so many sales text messages and emails. And I don't even have my email notifications on my phone, but like every time I signed into my email, there was always a notification for something, and so many text messages, and everyone wants to make plans. And so it was like super overwhelming during that time, because these big companies have really big ad budgets for the holiday season. They're trying to get those last minute sales, holiday gifts, all those things. And so you're fighting, as a small business owner, you are fighting like truly with the big dogs for attention in the space online, the social media space, the feed space. That's the word I was looking for. Now, with that, I like going into New Year's Eve, I had literally just screenshotted. I saved the photo, the little promo slides from Halloween, and I just like got them prepped and ready for New Year's. So it wasn't like I had to do much work. I kind of thought about, okay, like these are the things I'm wanting to touch on. These are what I'm going to post about. These are things I want to highlight. I already had a plan going in. That being said, as soon as I woke up and I started, like posting and sharing and stuff, and honestly, not even after I woke up, like I stayed up till midnight on December 30th. So basically the 31st. But I stayed up till midnight so I could post at midnight. So there was a full 48-hour clock. And I remember waking up and I remember starting to post, and I just remember feeling so defeated because I had had so many conversations and so many people seemed so interested, and no one was buying. No one was buying. And a year or two ago for something like this, I probably just would have stopped posting. I probably would have, like posted here and there, but like usually what I do for these flash sales is I go really, really hard and I really double down on stories, because that is where, I have more control, but I can see who is viewing, who is like tapping on polls and that type of stuff, where I don't get as much data in terms of like who actually is viewing my stuff for like a reel or a carousel or anything really on the feed. So I go really hard on stories. And 2 years ago, after how just the crickets for the first few hours that I was awake on the 31st, I was like, I would have stopped posting. But what I didn't do is I didn't stop. I kept going. And I kept posting, and I kept talking about different client wins, and I dropped different things that were being said in Slack, and, reiterated what was included and those types of things. And so that was like a big thing. And then I also, on the first, when there were less than 24 hours to go, I started to follow up with people. I started sliding into DMs being like, hey, I know you said you were interested. The promo ends in X amount of hours. And I started having some follow-up conversations. And really, truly, I ended up having 4 signups. I had 4 new trial members sign up, and 3 of those signups happened within 10 minutes of each other, which was absolutely wild. There is photographic evidence of the absolute shock and excitement from signups number 3 and number 4. But really, ultimately, what I'm wanting to talk about is kind of this idea that, like, successful entrepreneurs, at the end of the day, what really sets them apart is their ability to persist, their ability to keep going, their ability to not give up. It can feel so easy to just throw in the towel, to be like, no one's buying, my offer sucks, this is stupid, I should probably go get a 9 to 5 job. And I felt like I was so frustrated because, I need money. I want to be able to go out. I want to be able to do more than just enjoy my rent. Of course, at some point we all have to enjoy our rent. We all have to enjoy our mortgage. We pay a lot of money towards that, but like, I want to be able to go out. I want to experience life and make memories and do all those things. And so I was desperate and it was frustrating. And there were a couple moments where I was like, I wish that I had, gotten like a job. Because, fun fact, I actually am in the process of applying to jobs for Greystar. Greystar is the property management company that Reese works under. And if I get a job at another building full time, then we get 60% off our rent. And kind of right now, we're just kind of in this, we're getting married. We have big plans for our wedding. There are quite a few things that we still need to pay for. Like, I need a dress, Reese needs a suit, those types of things. And so me getting a 9 to 5 at this point is really just disposable income. Like, we did the math, and if I were to get a job, we would have an extra $3,200 to play with between saving money on rent and me having like a full-time consistent paycheck that doesn't go, like, I don't think it's talked about enough, but truly the idea that like having a business is amazing, but just because, 4 people signed up for the trial membership doesn't mean that I get to pocket all that money. Like, my business made money, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I made all that money. And so really, me getting a 9 to 5 is like a way for us to just have disposable income that can just go towards the wedding, go towards an emergency fund so we don't end up in the same position next year or anytime during this year. Just kind of the next time that we're going to call them emergent expenses come up. But I found myself thinking, I just was like, oh, I wish that I already had one of those jobs. Like, I wish. And it's very interesting because there's been a very big shift in my mindset regarding 9 to 5s, regarding going and getting a job. And it is not normal. Let me just say this. It is not normal to have your business and spend half the time thinking about going and getting a 9 to 5. I see this a lot on social media where it's kind of just like joked around and like, oh, it's so common that you have a business, but you spend your time dreaming about a 9 to 5. I don't think that's normal. I don't think that should be common. That, like, at that point, why do we have our businesses? Is we're just going to spend our time thinking about having a 9 to 5 and looking at job boards. But I get it, because I've been in that place before where like you aren't making the money that you want. You have bills. You want to do more than just, cook at home and enjoy your rent. But I think the big thing is like, truly at the end of the day, what sets successful entrepreneurs apart from those who aren't successful is the fact that they don't give up. They persist. And it would have been so easy with this New Year's promo, this flash sale, to just throw in the towel the moment that I didn't get the success that I had for the Halloween sale. It would have been so easy to just be like, well, whatever, I'm just gonna, like, blame it on the algorithm or blame it on whatever. But ultimately, I took control of the situation. I was like, okay, what else can I do? What more can I do? I want to walk away from this flash sale knowing that I did everything I possibly could to try to get a sale. And I ended up walking away with 4. They all came with, I want to say, less than 4 hours to go. No, actually, one of them came before that. But there was not a lot of time left on the clock. But truly, it was a testament to the idea that you can't just give up. You have to keep going. You never know who is going to buy. You never know, like, And like something to remember also is the idea of the bandwagon effect. And I knew this and I was holding out for this. I was holding out for my Lord and Savior, the bandwagon effect, where truly it's the idea that, when one person does something, when other people see that one person do it, they are more likely to do it because of it kind of takes away the anxiety and fear around taking the risk. And, you see one person jump into the pool and enjoy it, you're more likely to jump into the pool too versus like trying to dip your toe. It's a whole thing. It's a concept, but it's true. And I was holding out for this. And that was another really frustrating part about New Year's Eve is I was like, no one is buying and I need just one person. I need just one person, and then the bandwagon effect, the snowball will start rolling. And I felt so excited and satisfied with the one person who did sign up. I didn't even worry about the bandwagon effect at that point. But to see 3 people in the span of 10 minutes, sign up for the trial membership was absolutely amazing. I'm also very excited because I'm going into this with obviously the fact that I would love for them to sign on for full memberships, but at the end of the day, the thing is that I am very excited to test the waters with what happens when someone signs up for the trial membership and doesn't sign on for a full membership right away, and being able to play around with that. And obviously I'll do debriefs on that when that comes around. But I just kind of wanted to share about this kind of debrief this because it was so exciting. That was the first time that I've had like a back-to-back sales moment, but it was also really a great learning experience and a true testament to the idea of like sticking with it. My coach Megan, I saw this on her feed. Let me see if I can scroll to it really quick and find it. I should have screenshotted it. But she I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. That's okay if I can't find it. But she also posted something this morning, or that I saw it this morning when I logged on to Threads, that was also about kind of the notion of you have to show up, you have to sell, you have to put in the work. And I think that that is really hard to do because we have to stay self-motivated. But at the end of the day, like if you put in the work, you will see the success, you will reap the benefits. And it's hard. And there was a really long time where I was marketing and selling and I wasn't hearing anything in my business. And now I, can have these moments where I can feel frustrated and I can feel defeated. And those are such valid emotions and such valid feelings. And then be able to say, okay, but I need to get shit done. I want to be able to walk away from this knowing that I did everything possible. And truly going in, like, as we go into this new year, like, have like really thinking and asking yourself, have I done everything possible to be able to make this work? And sometimes, and this is going to be my little plug for my programs, but like sometimes it really does take having the right support. Sometimes it really does take having an outside opinion, having a second opinion, getting a fresh perspective. And so that's why I have Evergreen Support Network. That's why I will be hard launching Greenlight Society soon. That is the membership that will be under Hold My Mimosa. But truly, things really changed in my business when I got support, because I knew what I needed to do, but I needed someone to and I had the tools, but I need someone to help me put the pieces together. Those were really weird metaphors to mix up with each other, but the end all be all is truly don't give up. Don't throw in the towel. Put in all the work that you possibly can. Ask yourself, have I done everything possible? And also ask for help. Truly. That is all for this episode. I will talk to you next time.